We're Mighty Morphin Power Nerds!
Hello, we are Ben and Lucky, and welcome to the Mighty Morphin Power Nerds.
Welcome. I am Lucky. He is Ben.
I said that.
Affirmative.
Welcome everyone. This is going to be the show where we watch a batch of Power Ranger episodes and talk about them. So, in today's batch, we watched episodes 1 through 21.
Of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Let's go. The beginning.
Yeah. And okay, I think this is where we start getting into this. Power Rangers Mighty Morphin. I love it, but the first handful of episodes are really boring. Like really boring, and it's like it's very difficult to get into Mighty Morphin.
It very much is.
Yes.
It's...
So let's get into some of the topics we wanted to cover. Let's skip ahead a little bit into Power Punks. Or hang on, let me find the episode name. Is it Power Punks?
I'm pretty sure it is, yes.
Power Ranger Punks.
Yeah, that one.
Which is episode 12 in Netflix. This is one of the episodes where it's so bad it's good. We love this episode because it basically just makes Kimberly and Billy act so stupidly just ridiculous.
It makes them act so stupid that it's funny.
Yes. I think I'll have Lucky here go into a little bit about what the episode's plot is, because they like the episode way more than I do.
Yeah. So when we were going through episodes to watch, I recommended this episode because I think it is very funny. And now Ben agrees with me that it is funny. Basically, I've forgotten his name.
Babu.
Was it Babu? Yes. Puts a formula into the Rangers' drinks that will turn them into punks. Only Billy and Kimberly end up drinking it, which then goes on this whole episode of them being sort of evil and really mean, and it's amazingly funny.
Affirmative.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like the funniest thing you'll ever see.
Basically, if you want a comedy filler episode, that's an episode to watch.
Yeah, if you're wanting a filler episode that's fun, we recommend Power Ranger Punks, and our next episode we're going to talk about switching places. This episode is a brain swap episode with, ironically, Billy and Kimberly again.
Yeah.
So,
Kimberly, this was another one I recommended him to watch.
Yeah.
Because it is a great episode.
Okay, so this is a gripe me and Lucky here have with Power Rangers Season 1. Kimberly acts really dumb. Like, she's way dumber than she becomes later.
Yeah, at least in, like, maybe up to the first 10 episodes, maybe a bit longer, she does not act like the Kimberly that we're used to, and we forgot about that when we were rewatching it.
Mm-hmm. Is she like, okay, she'll say something like, Billy will say something like that everyone's like, huh, except Kimberly's like, I'm totally like lost, and it's not even that complicated, and it's really stupid. Like, really, really stupid.
Yeah.
And
Back to
back to switching
switching places
places.
though.
We bring that up because
Mhm.
Kimberly and Billy switch places. So Kimberly acts super hyper intelligent, and Billy starts acting like early episode Kimberly, and it's so funny. It
It
it's
is. Oh,
it's
so good.
So if I'm remembering right, um Billy as Kimberly has to hold a cooking class, and apparently Billy can't cook to
Yep.
save his life. He makes a huge mess and like ruins the class. And Kimberly has to teach a little kid how to use a computer, and okay, this was so ridiculous. She literally makes the computer explode. It literally explodes.
Which is
I
funny.
don't know how you would do that.
With a keyboard. She did it using buttons on a keyboard.
Yeah, it's like, how do you manage to screw up that badly that you caused it to blow up? Uh, but then we get into the main.
Basically, this episode is that Billy built an invention. The wires got switched around by
Babu.
Squash. No, by Squash.
Squash, you're right, my bad. I forget
Um,
which was which.
which then made them switch minds. The machine was meant to let them read minds, but it switched their minds instead.
Actually, no, it was Squash in the other episode, too.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. He's the one who was riding around.
Yeah, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same person.
Yes, it was.
Mm-mm.
You sure? Okay, then it was Squash the first time, Babu the second time. I know for a fact Squash was riding on the unicycle,
Mm.
which is Power Ranger Punks.
Basically, even though we just watched them, you will see us make mistakes in
Yeah,
trying
of
to
course. Correct us.
remember.
Please correct us, and we will address it at the end of not next week. Oh, we didn't even go onto how long when these podcasts will be coming out. So these podcasts will more than likely be coming out, if everything goes according to plan, every Sunday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, every 2 weeks. So this will be a bi-weekly podcast. Um, yeah, so back to the episode. If you can't tell, this is our first podcast ever, and we're figuring things out. Please uh, give us a chance to figure things out. But okay, so so after Kimberly and Billy switch, Bulk and Skull switch, which are the main bullies, uh, and it's so stupid because they
It
like
is.
basically almost kill themselves. It's like it's bad. Like they're electrocuting, they're spazzing out, they're like it's awful.
Yeah.
Um, which will be a common theme. We'll find out. Um, so let's finish this episode before we go to our next talking point.
Yeah.
So the main villain of this episode is a genie who spawned from a lamp. And the entire time we were watching the episode, I kept making jokes about Aladdin.
Yeah. That is exactly what he was doing.
And it because it looks like the lamp from Aladdin.
It does.
Um
And I'm supposed to be Disney nerd.
yeah,
And you were the one making jokes about Aladdin.
I know. um so then this episode's a first for Mighty Morphin. The Rita makes her monster giant before the Rangers almost kill it,
Yeah.
which is a first for this show. Then Zordon has Alpha somehow, I don't know how they did it, destroy the lamp. I don't think they really
Yeah.
explain exactly how they did it. They probably said some
It
sci-fi
was
nonsense.
it was just something to do with some sort of power source that they were using. We didn't pay much attention to what they were saying.
No, because this episode's fun for the brain switching plot, not the rest.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty
but
much every Power Rangers episode has an A plot and a B plot. Some of the later seasons will have a C plot in there as well,
yeah,
and it
and
gets a bit
that's gonna
hard to
get,
keep track of it all.
yeah, it gets bad. Um, so all right, so yeah, episodes like 1 through 16 are just basically, well, episode 1 isn't filler because it introduces the concept to you, but it's not a great introductory episode. I will say, and this we'll point this out as we go, this is one of the few Power Ranger seasons that actually introduces the Power Rangers to how they morph.
Yep. A
Um,
lot of the seasons actually don't. A lot of them are just like, here's your morphers, here's a battle you need to go
Dude,
fight it,
go do that.
and then they just somehow know how to morph.
Yeah. Um, I can't name one off the top of my head. Did RPM do that?
Um,
Because I'm pretty sure Dylan stole his suit.
I don't think RPM did that because only two of the Rangers actually became Rangers in the show.
You're
The
right.
rest of them were Rangers before it started.
True. I think Dylan just stole the
Um,
suit itself. Like, he didn't morph or anything, he just stole the suit. Anyway, we're not
I don't.
at RPM right now. We're
We're
at
not.
Mighty Morphin.
We're not on RPM.
Sorry, that was a tangent for another day.
We'll
Okay.
know if you hear us talk about RPM a lot. You may be able to tell it's our favorite season.
Yes, ironically, our avatars are not in RPM costumes because that is the one thing we don't like about RPM. Anyway,
Is their
back to
costumes?
Mighty Morphin. um, so, okay, the next talking point we had is, this is something me and Lucky were discussing. We're not entirely sure. Uh, so in the 2017 Power Rangers movie, which we will get to eventually, we're going through these seasons in order of air date release.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about how in the 2017 movie, Zordon is the first not the first, but he's a Red Ranger. And we're questioning if this version of Zordon in the original Mighty Morphin was also a Ranger. Now, there's two sides to the coin. The first side is that he found the power coins and knew how they worked, which would imply he used them. But the other side of this coin is the fact that we hear about countless battles where it's just Zordon him by himself,
Yeah,
not as a Ranger.
It's either Zordon by himself, or as they explain it a little bit, is Zordon with his team of soldiers. They don't say Rangers,
They say
they say
soldiers,
soldiers.
which could be, but then it's also implied that Rita. Okay, I'll spoil a little bit of the comics. I recommend you read the comics for yourself. The Power Ranger comics are actually probably some of the best Mighty Morphin content.
Yep.
So in the
But basically, it's implied that Rita was the Green Ranger
uh
at some point. I'm pretty sure,
no, no, it is not.
if that's right.
Hang on,
Okay,
we'll
yeah.
save that. That's not
He
what I was
can
saying.
correct me.
Um, actually, hang on. All right. That's
Ben
a
can correct me better on the comics.
yes. I know a bit more about the comics, and we will talk about, yes, we'll be talking about Lord Draken and what he means to the Mighty Morphin series in season 2 when we get to the White Ranger.
I will say that we did have a point before we started watching or during watching where we did say all hail Lord Draken, so we do enjoy Lord Draken.
Okay, no, we didn't. Don't lie to them.
We did. We
You
did.
did. I didn't, because that is a little problematic. Anyway, Um, very problematic. Anyway, let's move on to the next. This is like the first real arc in Mighty Morphin. My favorite arc for my favorite character, Tommy. The Evil Within parts 1 through 5. Green with Evil. I don't know why I said Evil Within.
Evil
um,
Within is something else.
no, that is an entirely pretty good game franchise. Anyway,
It's also episode names of like I think a different season.
yes, Green with Evil, parts 1 through 5 is my favorite arc in Mighty Morphin. And we have a lot to talk about. So let's just start from the beginning. So the Green with Evil starts with a karate tournament where we're introduced to Tommy, who will eventually become the Green Ranger. Uh, and he's competing against Jason, the Red Ranger. Um, so their match ends in a draw, and then they go their separate ways. Kimberly is simping very hard for Jason the entire time.
For Tommy, not Jason.
Tommy, I'm tired. Yes,
Yeah.
Tommy. Good lord, I get their names switched up. They go, but then they all go their separate ways after Kimberly invites Tommy to the youth center, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, but on his way there, Tommy gets jumped by a bunch of putty putty soldiers. That's their name, right?
Buddy patrollers.
Putty patrollers. What I forget their names. The putty patrol.
This is why you have me here.
Yes, Lucky is much more into Power Rangers than I am. I know the show. I've watched Mighty Morphin all the way through. I forget so much. Um, but okay, so then Tommy, god dang it, Tommy beats the Putty Patrol and is then put under a spell by Rita to be her evil soldier, and then is given the Green Ranger power coin and morphs, which is where we get into the comics of how she did that. Because the power coins are linked to the morphing grid, which is the source of every Power Ranger's power. No matter what Power Ranger they are, they're almost 100% linked to the morphing grid in one way or another.
Yep.
Whether by accident, by whoever created the morphers, or on purpose, like the power coins. But this goes into how Rita unlocked the green power coin to be used by her. And we'll get more into it later on how much Rita controls the green power coin, because it gets crazy.
I will mention that when it comes to the morphing grid, if you want to hear like in-depth stuff about it, wait till we get to Dino Fury because
Yes,
that's where they really start to get into the
which
morphing grid.
ironically is going to be the second to last season we cover, or second to
Yep.
the last 3 seasons are Dino Fury season 1 and 2 and Cosmic Fury. Those are the last seasons we're covering.
Which, yeah,
And
the
then the
fact that they
final,
don't go in
yeah,
depth with the morphing grid until that late.
is a little bad. I don't know where
Mm,
that came from. A little bad, but we'll get there. Again, we're jumping ahead a little too much.
yeah.
Um, anyway, back to Green with Evil. Um, so yeah, Tommy's under Rita's control now. And the way Rita unlocked the power coin is, so her mother died at some point, but what's left of her soul is basically haunting Rita to protect her. And the way Rita unlocks the green power coin is sacrificing her mother's soul to unlock it, which is where the Green Ranger gets the shield from. That is not something the Green Ranger had before Rita unlocked the green power coin. That is something unique to Rita unlocking it, which is very interesting for a couple reasons. A, that means the Rita's mother is still affecting the coin at later points when Tommy goes back to being the Green Ranger. B, that also means that Rita inadvertently helped the Rangers, and C, it's just a cool suit, so why not? um, so all right, back to the plot. So Lucky, you're gonna have to help me fill in some blank spots. We
Yep.
literally just watched it. Um, so then, uh, okay, what happens in part two?
Oh God.
Uh,
Now we gotta think.
yeah. Oh, so, oh, I wanted to bring up the fact that there is zero buildup in the season, and now I'm not gonna hold Mighty Morphin at 100% fault for this because arcs were not common for shows back then, especially in shows that are this episodic normally. Like the Green with Evil is an anomaly with these kind of shows, at least here in the states. Um, but the sixth power coin has no build up, no nothing, and Zordon 100% knew about it and said nothing. Which is
Wait,
a
wait. It's a fault on his part.
yeah, which I'm pretty sure is going to start becoming a theme of why didn't Zordon tell this to them like forever ago.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. So then okay, so the Power Rangers go out to deal with Tommy for the first time, and they immediately go into the Megazord. Now this is weird because then Tommy somehow gets in the Megazord and makes it explode from the inside, visibly and very largely, which is crazy if you think about it. A normal state Tommy is absolutely destroying the entire Ranger team and destroying the Megazord, which is ridiculous. Um, so, previous to this, Zordon was supposedly quote unquote destroyed, aka he was just sent to a different part in his time space dimension. Zordon
Mm-hmm.
makes no sense. He
He does
doesn't.
not.
And when we get to the original Mighty Morphin movie, he's going to make even less sense.
Yep.
But we'll get there. So then the Green Ranger and Rita's forces retreat, and so do the Power Rangers after a major loss. Jason meets up with Tommy at the school and has to cancel on him due to the Green Ranger stuff. But Tommy, the second Jason turns his back, shoots him with a green beam and sends him to Rita's dark dimension. Which is crazy for a couple different reasons. But whatever, it's okay. So then Jason has to fight Goldar without morphing in his human state in an unfamiliar dimension with no way of supposedly getting out.
Yep.
Which that he somehow is holding his own, and Goldar decides. Rita decides not to just have Goldar kill him. No, she lets him toy with him, and then some. Okay, I might be wrong. So Goldar gets kicked back. Now that might be the moment where Tommy gets his morpher back from Goldar, but we
Jason.
don't see that.
Uh, yeah, no. So basically, what we saw was, um, I'm pretty sure Tommy kicked Golda, or something like that. Rita
Tommy,
called Goldar
Jason.
back. He
I've been
teleported.
saying Tommy, haven't I?
You said Tommy got his morpher
Jason.
back. Jason.
Jason kicks Goldar. I get their names
Yeah.
confused. I'm sorry.
Hmm.
Tommy or Jason kicks Goldar and he stumbles. But not only
Yeah.
does Tommy or Jason, good lord, Jason A doesn't pick up his morpher if that's the moment that he dropped it. B, Goldar is still taunting him as if he still has his morpher. And C, Tommy then walks in and fights Jason, and he
The
still
main,
doesn't have his morpher on him.
yeah, the main thing that I did notice while, because Golda had to be teleported away, Rita wanted him, so Jason was then left fighting Tommy. While he was fighting Tommy, his morpher fell to the ground. You actually saw it fall to the ground. So where it came from, if Golda still had it, no idea.
Because Goldar shouldn't have dropped it, and if Tommy, there's no reason to give Tommy it, and we don't see him. At least I don't remember seeing Tommy get it. So Jason shouldn't have his morpher, but that leads to Billy fixing all the issues Tommy created and sends Jason back to command.
So to elaborate, because I don't think we actually did, Tommy
Oh my
got in
god.
the command center. He messed up the entire command center, which
Yes.
stopped their communication, their teleportations, got rid of Zordon, messed up Alpha, and they could barely morph.
I'm going to put a disclaimer at the beginning of this saying, please watch Mighty Morphin before watching this.
Yep.
Because
There is spoilers.
we're gonna talk about stuff that and not give too much explanation. We, which is why I at the beginning of this told you what episodes we watched. That way you know what we're talking about. Um. So okay. Then so Jason ends up back and they're talking about what they're gonna do to stop Rita. Tommy, even though he was literally swinging to kill Jason, gets blamed for Jason getting out, even though Goldar is the one who was stalling. Or actually, no, it's actually Rita's fault for not letting Goldar kill Jason immediately. Then Tommy gets to go ahead, and it's already too late because Billy fixed the communicators, which somehow allows Jason's still busted communicator to then get him teleported out. So it's a whole thing, but Tommy is then left to contemplate his failure. Which, okay, that's fine. But then Scorponaut? No, that's that's the Transformer. What's her name? Scorpina?
Yes, Scorpina.
Okay. Scorpina is then made, which never heard about her before. Another thing Zordon never told them about, which Alpha 5 then makes a whole big deal out of her, and the team morphs up to then go fight him, which plays into Rita's plot to somehow make a solar eclipse happen, which then, for whatever reason, means the Megazord can't work because it, for whatever, again, reason, runs on solar energy. Which I pointed out, what if it's night?
Yeah.
Or what if they have to have a fight during a time where it's a naturally occurring solar eclipse?
Like, pretty much, even possibly if they were in space away from the sun, they possibly would not have the power source for powering that Megazord.
Yeah, so that's weird. But then instead of summoning the Dragon Zord immediately, which would have probably killed the Power Ranger teams, no, Rita decides to pull the weirdest move and make Tommy giant. Which both me and Lucky forgot happened, which is surprising because that is the weirdest thing Rita has ever done. I didn't
Yeah,
think.
seeing a Ranger giant was one, a little bit funny, and two, a bit weird to see.
Yeah. So Tommy beats up on the depleting energy source for the Megazord, and then they summon the Power Sword and somehow gain the upper hand. But then they're like screwed over by Tommy again, and then then their Zords are destroyed, quote unquote destroyed. Which I'm not even gonna get into how stupid that is. Um. So okay.
Which speaking of Zords, what the hell does Kimberly's Zord do?
Oh, okay. So what is okay? So the Megazord. Um, I brought this up. Uh, to Lucky. Kimberly's Zord should have been used as a shield.
Yeah,
The part that becomes the
but
chest plate should have just been there already, and Kimberly's Zord should have been converted into a shield.
like it basically just does not do anything.
No, because
Like,
in
why
tank,
is it there?
yeah, because in tank mode, the Zord's not even attached. It's only the Saber-toothed Tiger Zord, the Mammoth Zord, the Tyrannosaurus Zord, and the um Triceratops Zord. Kimberly's Zord is not a part of it from what I remember. Which is crazy. Like that's just ridiculous, you know?
Yeah, like if anyone knows properly what Kimberly Zord is supposed to do, please let us know
Please.
because we can't seem to figure it out.
Like, okay, and I really do think Kimberly's Zord would have been cool as a shield. That way they could have a sword and shield. That way they, instead of using their arm to block, they're using a shield to block. But then the Zords are quote unquote destroyed, and during so well the I'm pretty sure it's either after the Rangers go back and leave the command center, or it's during this while they're moping in defeat. Tommy goes in, or it's before this. Tommy goes in and tries to get rid of Zordon, who they're trying to bring back again, and deactivates Alpha 5, who somehow was reactivated immediately, and traps Tommy, who then gets teleported out to go participate in that fight. But then, in the funniest frames I have ever seen from Power Rangers, Tommy's pixelated face is revealed to the Power Rangers as the Green Ranger. And it's the goofiest looking thing ever. If you know what I'm talking about, it looks like the stone face emoji, and it's hilarious.
Yep.
And it's just so stupid and goofy.
Yeah. Which then, after that, Kimberly decides it's a good idea to confront Tommy about him being the Green Ranger.
Yeah, which could lead to him revealing the secret to everyone else, their secret, which would mean they broke Zordon's rules, meaning they could their entire identity would their entire thing about being Power Rangers would be taken away from them. And they're stuck. They lost. That would be game over. But no, Tommy decides to just say, "Well, my Empress Rita is gonna kill you," and then
Which
walks
I
away.
will mention something. I will mention something that I don't think we fully picked up on at the time. I'm just thinking of it now. Um, like Kimberly says, "I know you're the Green Ranger," and then Tommy just immediately like claps back, not even whispering, and says, "Well then, Pink Ranger," like in a
Everyone could
public
hear that.
place.
Oh, this will. I'll bring this back up in a minute. So Tommy leaves, and Kimberly goes to the group and talks to them about the conversation she just had with Tommy. So then, um, So then, okay, then we forgot to mention this. Jason has the Dark Sword, which is the only thing keeping Rita's curse intact, which will then later
Tommy.
be Tommy. God dang it! Which then will, in a way, kind of be retconned later on how he keeps her hold on him. But we'll get to that with the Green Candle arc.
Yeah, we may need to edit this later that whenever you say Jason or Tommy and you're
No,
supposed to say the other one.
nope, no. This is all going in. This is all one
Okay.
take, no redos. That's the fun
No,
parts.
I'm saying like over the top. You just do the
No,
correction.
no, no. It's gonna be one take, no corrections. Anyway, the sword. So she has Zordon's old sword that she enchanted to keep the curse on Tommy, and then, in a weird move, she then finally gives Tommy the dragon dagger, and then he plays and summons the Dragon Zord, which is not only almost as big as the Megazord, which is 5 different Zords combined, it's implied to be just as strong. At least originally.
Yeah.
So he's causing mischief. Alpha 5 finally gets Zordon back, and um, that Zordon somehow appearing is what gives the Power Rangers the push they need to get their Zords back, which makes absolutely no sense. So they get their Zords back, and turn into the Megazord, and they're evenly matched. They beat Goldar. I'm pretty sure they also beat Serpina. Then they fight. No, just Jason. I'm pretty sure in the his Tyrannosaurus Zord is beating up on the Dragon Zord, which immediately kills all hype you have for the Dragon Zord. I still love the Zord, but a single Zord is enough to take it down. And then they form the Megazord and beat up Tommy even more. Then they get Tommy out of his Zord and destroy the sword and team up with Tommy as the now good guy Green Ranger, which means Green with Evil is over. That's it. That's Green with Evil, guys. Pretty much. They beat the guys, and then they immediately jump cut to them back in the command center where Zordon relays the 3 rules he gave to the original kid originally, and it ends. That's how the episode ends. Him saying sure, and they jump into the air and they do the old '90s freeze frame,
Yep.
and that's it. That's like the first major arc, the arc that will inform the events of Mighty Morphin seasons 1 through 3, Alien Rangers, Zeo, and that the events in this arc affect everything. If they don't happen,
Yeah.
Power Rangers doesn't happen the normal way.
Yeah.
Again, I'll wait because Lord Draken has spoilers for not spoil yeah, spoilers, but Lord Draken, you need to be at the White Ranger to understand Lord Draken.
Yeah.
Which again, we'll get there.
Yeah. Basically, a point that I slightly brought up a few times. Bulk and Skull are meant to be the bullies of the school. They're meant to treat the Rangers badly. But how the Rangers actually treat Bulk and Skull is worse than how Bulk and Skull treat them.
Which they earn, but they physically hurt Bulk and Skull more than they probably hurt anyone else. No one takes Bulk and Skull seriously. They are joke characters. And
Like it. Yeah,
And
it's like the Rangers are meant to be the good guys. Why are they
yeah,
doing this mean
now I
stuff?
think we'll talk about some visual errors a little more. First off, I think it's episode 2. Let's talk about the monochrome ranger.
Yeah.
Kimberly
It's like,
is the
yeah,
pink
it's like
ranger. But for
it's
some,
very
yeah,
early.
it's episode 2. I know that for a fact.
Hmm.
Because this is the episode where she talks to a blind girl and tells her to go behind the bushes without signing it.
Okay, I'm gonna correct you now. Episode 5, a different drum. It's a deaf girl, not a blind girl.
I said
There
deaf.
you go.
I said deaf.
You said blind.
I thought I said deaf.
Yeah,
You
it's
sure?
fine. Yeah, you will hear it back later
Oh, different drum,
that you
yeah.
did say blind. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. It's episode 5, my bad. In episode 5, Kimberly is monochrome for some of it. In fact,
yeah.
no, never mind. I thought it was like that on the frame they chose for the Netflix picture, but it's not.
Hmm.
Uh,
So there's certain frames where her pink is just gone. It's not like that for any of the Rangers. It's just Kimberly, and it's why.
weird. If anyone can fill us in on how that tech error happened, please let us know because I need to know how that happened.
Yes. And also, another point we have, Bulk and Skull should probably have brain damage at this point.
Oh yeah, no, they have brain damage. My headcanon is that they have brain damage.
Yeah.
Bulk and Skull constantly are getting hit in the head with heavy objects, constantly running into things, constantly falling over, and they also got fried in swapping places.
Yep.
They get beat up more than the Rangers do half the time.
In fact, do.
And then in switching places, Bulk, our Skull in Bulk's body, is moving his mouth, and I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be talking, but he's not. In fact, they don't have audio.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm just misunderstanding how that works.
Yeah.
Uh,
This whole us getting through the last of our points is basically just going to be us going back and forth, just going randomly across things, I
yeah,
guess.
I think we'll start wrapping things up. We've been going
Yeah.
for about 40-ish minutes.
Yeah. I will also mention there was a part I noticed when Jason and Goldar were fighting in the Dark Realm.
Mm-hmm.
Goldar was stabbing his sword to the ground to try and hit Jason and sort of finish him off.
Yeah.
How Goldar did not see Jason in the fog is ridiculous. He
Yeah.
landed his sword right next to his head, but yet Tommy could see Jason in the fog just fine. So, Goldar being partially blind, maybe.
Maybe his helmet obstructs his view. In which case, I don't know how the black tinted Green Ranger helmet doesn't, but who knows?
No idea.
This is one of the many plot holes this series has.
Yeah,
Um, so all right, let's start getting our final thoughts.
yeah.
Um, Green with well, we're episodes 1 through 17. How would you rate them on a scale of 1 to 10? You
A few
thinking
of them
about?
are good. A
Mm-hmm.
few of them are good, like switching places and Power Ranger punks. I
Mm-hmm.
think those are pretty good.
Of course, Green with
The
Evil.
rest of them, yes, you said 1 through 17 though, so
Not 1 through 17. I meant 1 through 21. Also,
there you go.
17 includes Green with Evil,
Yeah,
part one at least.
Green with Evil.
One through
Green with
21.
Evil is really good.
It's
Like,
really good if you turn your brain
yeah,
off. It's one of my favorite arcs. In the entirety of Power Rangers, I will mention it's one of my favorite arcs. But
Yeah.
it has it has issues. This is the first arc
Yeah.
in Power Rangers in the first series, and which is crazy.
Yeah. So the episodes in Mighty Morphin are fine to me, but like there is one in particular that sort of weirds me out just a little bit.
The one where Kimberly's doll comes to life.
Trini's doll.
Trini.
Yes.
I forget. I get everyone's names mixed up in this
And
one.
yeah.
Especially because they
Episode
switch. We'll get there.
yeah. Episode 9, For Whom the Bell Trolls. Trini
Mm-hmm.
has a doll that comes to life and starts fighting them as one of Rita's monsters. Just to find out at the end of the episode that it was all fabricated in Trini's dreams.
Which is crazy. That
It,
is
yeah. The fact that
ridiculous.
she subconsciously thought of that.
Is crazy. That's what her brain thinks of when it wants to dream.
Yeah.
Anyway, that small tangent aside, one on scale from 1 to 10, episodes 1 through 21. How would you rate them?
If I average it out,
Mm-hmm.
a 6.
That's funny. I was gonna say a 6.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people
That's
like these
worth
early
averaging
episodes.
it.
I can okay, if I do episodes 1 through 16, it's ironically gonna go down. It's gonna be a 5.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that also means if I were to just rate episodes 17 through 21, the 5 parts of Green with Evil, I would probably give it a 7. I can't give it an 8. It has too many glaring issues to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's still a personal favorite, but I can't put it any higher than 7.
Yeah.
Um well, I guess this is where we sign off. I am Ben. She's Lucky. But, and we are the Mighty Morphin Power Nerds. And we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.